Hey everyone, before we dive into this story, please hit that subscribe button to support my channel and stay updated with more content like this. The discussion unfolded in my aunt's cozy living room during what was meant to be a relaxed family brunch. My cousin Vanessa was set to wed Gregory Hartwell, a name tied to prominent landmarks across the city. Think Hartwell Medical Center, Hartwell Hall at the university, and the Hartwell Foundation for the Arts. This will be the event of the season, Vanessa declared, swiping through her tablet. Gregory's family knows all the important people, so we're keeping the guest list exclusive. My Aunt Margaret glowed with pride. Vanessa's marrying into one of the city's cornerstone families. This wedding will be all over the society pages. I offered a polite smile and took a bite of my omelet, already bracing for what was coming. My family had a habit of prizing certain kinds of success, and my own path never seemed to make their radar. Emma, Vanessa said, turning to me with a rehearsed look of sympathy, I need to talk to you about the wedding. Sure, I replied. When's the big day? June 15th. But here's the deal, she said, glancing at her mother, who gave an encouraging nod. We're keeping the guest list strictly high society, old money, business tycoons, political heavyweights. The Hartwells are very particular about their standards. I see, I said, keeping my tone even. My Uncle Robert cleared his throat. What Vanessa means, Emma, is that this wedding carries significant social weight. The guest list reflects the family's standing in the community. And you, well, he paused delicately. You're still in the nonprofit world, right? I am, I confirmed. Vanessa leaned in, her voice dripping with that faux kindness that feels patronizing. Emma, your work is amazing. Nonprofits are so valuable. But this wedding is about uniting influential families. Gregory's dad sits on the boards of 3 Fortune 500 companies, and his mom leads the museum's executive committee. These are people accustomed to a certain level of prestige. And you think I don't measure up? I asked, my voice steady. It's not that, my aunt jumped in quickly. You've chosen a noble path, helping people through your little charity. The Foundation for Urban Education Reform, I clarified. That's where I work. Right, exactly, Vanessa said. It's admirable, but it doesn't quite align with the Hartwell social circle. You'd feel out of place, and it might be awkward for everyone trying to explain what you do. She waved her hand vaguely. My younger brother, Daniel, who'd been quiet until now, spoke up. This is messed up, Vanessa. Emma's family. You can't just cut her out because she doesn't fit your social climbing agenda. Daniel. My uncle snapped, this isn't your business. Vanessa's being practical. Practical? Daniel scoffed. Is that what we're calling this? I placed a hand on Daniel's arm. It's fine, Daniel. It's not fine, he insisted. I turned to Vanessa. I get it. You want a guest list that projects a certain image. That's your call. Vanessa looked relieved. I'm so glad you understand. It's not personal. Of course not, I said, though we both knew it was entirely personal. What they didn't know, what they never bothered to ask, was the truth about my work at the Foundation for Urban Education Reform. They heard nonprofit and education and slotted me into a box labeled well-intentioned, but insignificant. They didn't know I'd founded the organization 7 years ago, growing it from a tiny volunteer group to a $50 million annual budget. They were unaware we'd partnered with 37 school districts across 5 states, boosting literacy rates, increasing college enrollment, and transforming thousands of students' lives. They didn't know I'd personally invested $8 million of my own money, earned from selling a tech startup before shifting to education. They were clueless about my advisory roles on 2 federal education initiatives, my profiles in education journals, or the fact that I'd testified before Congress twice. They didn't know because they never asked. I kept my achievements private, partly for security, and partly because I'd learned that money changes how people treat you. I wanted the foundation's work to stand on its own, not be overshadowed by talk of wealth. I was also curious, in a detached way, about how long my family would cling to their narrative about my little charity without asking real questions. Apparently, forever. The months before the wedding were a lesson in exclusion. I was left out of every pre-wedding event, the engagement party, bridal showers, rehearsal dinner. No invitations came my way. When I asked Daniel about it, he was livid on my behalf. They're rewriting family history, he said over coffee. At the engagement party, someone asked about you, and Aunt Margaret said you were away for work. They're acting like you don't exist because it's easier than admitting they shut you out. Let them, I said. I'm busy with work anyway. And I was. Vanessa's wedding coincided with a major milestone, the announcement of a policy initiative built on our foundation's work. After 3 years of data collection, proven results, and political advocacy, the mayor and city council were ready to unveil it publicly. The press conference was set for June 15th at 2 p.m. Vanessa's ceremony was at 4 o'clock. The timing felt almost poetic. On June 15th, I woke to a flood of messages from my team. The press conference was drawing major attention. National education outlets were sending reporters, local news planned live coverage, and the mayor's office confirmed attendance from city council members, the school superintendent, and the governor's education advisor. Emma, this is massive, my deputy director, Sarah, said during our morning call. We're about to see systemic change based on our model. Do you realize how rare that is? I did. 7 years of work were about to shape policy impacting thousands of students, a reward for every struggle, funding hurdle, and bureaucratic fight. The press conference took place in the city council chambers. Camera crews, reporters from major outlets, and photographers filled the room, treating it as a major news event. Mayor Patricia Rodriguez greeted me warmly. Emma, your foundation's research and programs gave us the evidence we needed to make this happen. It's a team effort, I said. We're just one piece. Don't sell yourself short, she replied. Your foundation is the backbone of this. At 2 o'clock sharp, the mayor introduced the $200 million, 5-year initiative to expand literacy programs, support teachers, and enhance resources in underserved communities, modeled directly on our work. This wouldn't be possible without the Foundation for Urban Education Reform and its founder, Emma Hartwell, she said, gesturing me to the podium. She quickly corrected herself. I apologize, Emma Collins. Though, interestingly, Emma, I hear you're connected to the Hartwell family. My cousin's marrying into them today, I said. Well, send our congratulations, the mayor said warmly. Now, Emma will take questions about the foundation's work. For 45 minutes, I fielded questions on funding, scalability, teacher training, and community engagement, answering with data and real-world examples. A reporter from an education journal asked, Ms. Collins, your foundation is a leading voice in urban education reform. You've advised federal initiatives, testified before Congress, and now driven major policy change. How does it feel to have this impact? It feels like responsibility, I said honestly. Every policy affects real kids and families. We take that seriously and will keep ensuring these programs deliver. As the event wrapped, my phone buzzed with messages from colleagues, nonprofit leaders, and notifications that local news was covering the conference live. Daniel called, turn on channel 7. I found a quiet corner and streamed it on my phone. The anchor was discussing the initiative and our foundation's role with my image on screen. This is huge, Sarah said beside me. Live coverage on a Saturday afternoon. They're treating it like a major story. It was a $200 million investment, citywide policy shifts, and a model other cities might adopt. Sarah added, this is going viral locally. Someone posted a photo of you with the mayor, and it's spreading fast. People are talking about the foundation. Then my phone rang, a number I didn't know. Ms. Collins, this is Janet Morrison from the mayor's office. The mayor was invited to the Hartwell Collins wedding today after Gregory's father heard she'd be at your press conference. She was going to decline, but since both events involve your family, she wanted to check if you'd be there to celebrate today's win. I paused. I wasn't invited, I said carefully. It's my cousin's wedding, but the guest list was high society. My nonprofit work didn't meet their standards. A long pause. Are they aware you founded a leading education nonprofit and just secured a $200 million initiative? Janet asked. They know I work at a little charity, I said. The details didn't interest them. I see, Janet said, her tone colder. The mayor will likely decline the invitation. She's particular about organizations that undervalue education work. After we hung up, I checked social media. Sarah was right. Coverage was everywhere. Photos of me with the mayor, clips of my remarks, and comments connecting the dots. Isn't there a Hartwell wedding today? Is this the same Emma Collins? At 3:30, Aunt Margaret called, her voice tight. Emma, you need to come to the wedding now. I wasn't invited, Aunt Margaret, I said. There's been a mix-up, she said quickly. Of course you're family. It was a mistake. There was no mistake, I replied. Vanessa excluded me because my nonprofit work didn't fit her high society image. Emma, please, she said. The mayor's office called. Gregory's father is furious we excluded the Emma Collins who secured $200 million. Now I'm acceptable. I asked, now that I have influence? It's not like that, she said, but voices in the background, arguing, tense, told me it was exactly like that. Vanessa's crying. The mayor declined. Guests are asking why you're not here. It's humiliating. I understand, I said. Humiliation stings, like being told you're not good enough for your cousin's wedding. Please, just come, she begged. I'll decline, I said. I'm celebrating today's win with my team. People who valued me before the headlines. I ended the call and blocked her number. 15 minutes later, Daniel called, laughing. It's chaos. Guests are watching your press conference. Vanessa's falling apart, Uncle Robert scrambling to explain your absence, and Gregory's dad said, we excluded the one family member with integrity. It's incredible. I didn't mean to hurt anyone, I said. The timing was perfect, Daniel replied. And I'm proud of you, not for the spotlight, but for staying true to yourself. That night, all 3 local stations covered the initiative. One profiled the foundation, showcasing teachers, students, and our impact. My phone buzzed with messages from distant relatives, suddenly interested. I ignored them, except for one call from Grandma. Emma, I saw the news, she said. Your mom would be so proud. Mom, a teacher who believed in education for all, died when I was 19. The foundation was her legacy. Thanks, Grandma. Aunt Margaret called me, crying that you embarrassed the family. I told her the real embarrassment was excluding someone doing more good than all of them combined. I smiled. You didn't have to say that. I did, she said. They chase status. You chase change. That's what counts. Daniel sent updates. The wedding was a mess. Guests talked about the foundation, not the couple. Social media posts were awkward, photos cropped, captions vague. Vanessa, Uncle Robert, and Aunt Margaret called the next day. I ignored them. A week later, Vanessa showed up at my office. Your cousin's here, my receptionist said. Says it's urgent. Send her in, I said. Vanessa looked drained. No makeup, simple clothes. Everyone's talking about how I excluded you, she said. My wedding's now, the one where the bride uninvited her successful cousin. Gregory's parents are mortified. My mother-in-law keeps asking why I didn't see your importance. I'm sorry you're dealing with that, I said. Are you? She asked. It feels like you planned this to humiliate me. The press conference was scheduled months ago, before your wedding date, I said. You could have told us about your foundation, she said. I did, I replied. You heard nonprofit and assumed I wasn't successful. That was your choice. She sat quietly for a long time. I was wrong, she said finally. I judged you by appearances. I'm sorry. It was the most genuine thing she'd ever said. I accept your apology, I said. But I didn't build this foundation to prove anything. I did it because I believe in it. I know, she said softly. You have real success. I chased an image. We talked for an hour, not perfect, but honest. The foundation grew stronger, expanding programs, advising cities, and shaping national policy. Family dynamics shifted slowly. Uncle Robert stayed stubborn, Aunt Margaret uneasy, but Daniel and I grew closer. Grandma became our biggest cheerleader. Vanessa and I built something real, finally honest. I learned success isn't about others' approval, it's about purpose. I was successful long before the media noticed or my family cared. Their praise didn't define it. I succeeded because I built something meaningful, something that changed lives and would outlast Vanessa's wedding. Everything else was just noise, and I stopped listening to noise years ago.